Hello.
Hello. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I mean, your video's off, but at least we got Mel.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Malovich's black square for like 5 seconds. So
Yeah. I'm like
okay.
still trying to figure out my camera. I haven't been on Zoom for so long.
Travis, I'm gonna wash my hands really quickly and then we can relax and chat. Just wait.
Okay.
How was your week anyway?
It's okay. It's super busy. It's just like I'm in the process of moving and packing stuff, so it's kind of crazy right now. It's like, yeah.
What are you doing now that you graduated from CMU?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, well, I guess that can happen, I guess.
Yeah, it's just like trying to figure things out over this summer. So I'm like, but anyway, hi, I'm Huidi. Nice to meet you. I think this is
my name's
our first time.
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. Anyway, lovely background and everything. So are you thinking about? Oh, yeah. This is my compatriot Bryce.
Hi, Bryce. Hi, I'm Huidi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, this is the office from Animal Crossing. So we're just talking about the background.
Yes.
So
yeah, a different office space than the one.
Yeah.
Although actually, if you can recreate Animal Crossing in our gallery, we'd be happy. So, but honestly, I'm very excited. So you're still trying to figure out where to move. Do you have any like choices, or are you just kind of?
So I'm thinking about probably I'm gonna stay. So there's basically just two options. I'm probably gonna stay. Three options. Probably gonna stay in Pittsburgh for a while, and I'm also thinking about probably I'm gonna move to New York because just like most of my friends right now are based in New York, so I think it makes more sense for me to move there. And another option, just like I go back to China. I'm from China, so it makes sense. But right now it's just like kind of trapped here. It's just like impossible to go back. It takes too much effort.
Are you actually still have your citizenship in China, right?
Or yeah.
Have you thought about like being a permanent resident here, or is it kind of
still trying to figure out right now? Yeah, I'm on this sort of post-graduation like working visa condition, and so I have 1 year basically. Like I just like set a 1 year timer for myself and just trying to figure out things over this year and then see what's going on. If I feel like, oh, here it is, I'm probably gonna like figure out the next visa I'm gonna apply to. Or I was just like, oh, probably this is not my side or my contacts. I'm probably just gonna go back to my home because I'm no longer here. All my family is already in China. So yeah.
Well, China also, I mean, is a huge contemporary art world too. So so it does have that advantage of, I mean, to be honest, New York's still the powerhouse, undoubtedly.
For sure.
It's my hometown too, so I have to be a tad biased. So, I'm from Brooklyn, and then Bryce might end up in that area potentially. So
yeah, for my graduate school, hopefully, but we'll see. Applying to a lot of places, so.
Oh, okay. So you are applying to.
I'm actually going to be applying for University of Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
Amazing. Good luck.
He's art history, so he's an artist, but art historians are needed.
Art history is definitely a little different. My programs are probably going to be a little bit of different schools than you guys will probably choose, since fine arts and art history is a little different, but but Pittsburgh's actually one of my top ones. So how is like the city and everything?
I think it's lovely. It's really lovely. It has its own really unique and special art scene, and people are like really nice, I think, in general. And it's like it's cheap. It's like one of the most, I think, a livable city according to some press. I don't know, but like I'm not a winter person, so that's the issue. Like before I moved to Pittsburgh, I was in Houston for 4 years. And I'm from Chengdu, China, so it's like southwest part of China, so we don't have snow at all. So the first year I arrived here, I was like, oh, snow, and I was happy for 5 seconds, and after that I was just like, cannot handle this shit anymore. But winter is definitely an issue, but I think Pittsburgh is definitely a really good place to like just focusing on your own stuff, because it's like quiet, it's just like, it's nice, like, yeah. So I would say, just like, if there's no snow here, I would say it's the perfect place. But
actually, to be honest, we live in Salt Lake and there's snow, so this is actually no change.
Yeah, it's literally.
So it's perfect for you.
It ain't a big deal for me. I'm used to it.
It just,
I mean, snow isn't my favorite thing, but I'm used to it. So
that's great. Then Pittsburgh it is. Pittsburgh, nice, yeah.
Yeah, and how's CMU in general because it's a longer program than most MFAs.
Yeah, it's like a 3-year program. I think I really like the program. I think the program is really, really interesting, and it's small. It's like we only have 6 people every year. So it's like a really small cohort, like people here like super, super nice, and just like really, and I think it's really interesting because like the program director, they definitely have this kind of like idea of like this idea of a curation, like every year, like they like make sure every like the 6 people are totally from kind of different background doing different things, but they can come together to form like a cohort and working together. So it's really nice. And since I didn't do art for my undergrad, I did architecture for my undergrad, so I was like, okay, the undergrad program, nice, perfect. And it's also like really heavily stressed on research, interdisciplinary, and since it's also a longer program, you know, like for 2-year program, it's always like just like a 1 year, and then you enter this like thesis work making mode. But at CMU is basically just like after first year, they're still like saying, oh, you should try this, you should try that, you should explore that. And so that's actually perfect for me, because before I came to CMU, I didn't have an art practice. Like I don't even know art, like what art should be like. So it's just like offer me a lot of time to figure out my art practice and my art language, I guess. So it's really it's a really good program. But practically it's in Pittsburgh, so it's like really far away from, you know, like you said, New York, and it's like it's not close to LA, so it's kind of like in the middle of nowhere. And also because we don't have like a lot of alumni or a lot of like artists actually coming from out of the program, so it's like kind of hard to like say, oh, where we should go, because like, for example, if you're graduated from UCLA, it's definitely you're going to be an ALA based artist. Like right now, I'm
but
like,
also
oh,
UCLA, UCLA also has connections to New York. There's a lot of like cross representation. I mean,
exactly.
It's interesting. The only weird place where geography doesn't follow is Yale, because Yale and New York are connected heavily, like really connected. But exactly. That's the only exception. Everything else is New York or LA, and CMU is interesting, but it's like you sit there and try to figure out, you know, what are people doing after they finish, you know?
Exactly. It's just like people so scattered, like and it's kind of like, it's like that never know where they actually end up being. Like it's just like people just like scattered around everywhere, so it's like it's really hard to say, oh, CMU students usually go to New York, or like CMU students or usually go to LA. So it's just like really scattered. So that's kind of like
what is the history of the program? What have people done typically, usually afterwards?
Afterwards, I think most of people are actually going to like going to get a teaching job. It's like because like going to academia. I think from my understanding, most of people are going to academia, because it's like it's perfect, because like like I said, research based. Like everyone is like really nerdy actually. Like it's heavily influenced by the kind of nerdiness around CMU. So people are like, oh, we're like really into teaching, and we're like really into like just doing research and doing some weirder shit. So it's like, yeah, it's like perfect for CMU graduates. I think most of the people I know right now are like teaching.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, some of them may just go to New York, but I just don't know. I had a really hard time with the website trying to follow like where people, because once people graduate, they eradicate the history of the people, whereas Yale, they actually retain everyone that graduated since 1990. So you get 30 years worth of like alumni history of where a lot of people went. And plus, actually, it's easy to tell because you look at galleries, and Yale, Hunter, Columbia, UCLA and actually School of Art Institute of Chicago are the 5 most predominant schools. But
yeah, exactly.
Like for me,
Oh,
go ahead.
So sorry. You said nothing. Yeah.
Oh, I said, I mean, of the people that I've found in my research, the only person I've found so far is like Shanna Moulton, and that's it so far from CMU. And she's probably the most famous person from there. So
I have to admit that I have the same confusion. Like I always like why we don't have an alumni page. Like it's just I feel like they're intentionally trying to erase everything. So we don't even know where are our alumni. So like I think last summer they organized something like alumni meeting up, like something like they just like invite some people to, and I think only like 5 people showed up, and they're like graduated from like 30 years ago. And I was like, I was like, what is going on? So I have to admit that even though I graduated from this program, I have the same confusion. It's like, where are the people actually go? Like,
yeah, and it's not very evident at all. So it's just, I don't know. I just kind of. So, but we'll see. I mean,
website is awesome.
What? Sorry.
Huidi's. Her website is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Her program's website may not be good, but her website is awesome.
Oh, thank you so much.
The eyes
actually,
that follow the cursor and like.
Thank you.
This is so fun. I love it.
Speaking of that, so I did email scene. Obviously, you wanted to be a guest artist, which was, I think a lot of it, I think, is just because of your visa thing kind of thing. It's harder to determine like commitment wise.
Yeah.
But I was thinking like next year we could probably have some show from you, which would be nice. And it can be either virtual or in person. So especially because you work in new media combined with sculpture and installation, it's open to whatever you feel like, you know?
Okay. So. That's nice. So you said next year. I think next year is perfect because like right now I'm also like just in this mode of moving and trying to figure out stuff. So that's perfect.
Well, not that you need time to readjust to where you're at. I mean, we could, even if you go back to China, if we do virtual, we can still show it as a guest artist. So, I mean, we have that complete latitude. So.
That's great. Amazing. Yeah, because I think your space is like really interesting. It's like it's a space, but it's not a space. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's a concept. Yeah. Yeah,
it's not traditional gallery, and it will never will be. And even if we become more established, it will still remain pretty offbeat. So, but.
Yeah, because I think in your previous email you mentioned you have this large. Can you just like walk me through a little bit more?
Actually,
like,
Bryce can do that.
Yeah, again, like how like the structure is actually working, because like I think thank you so much for explaining everything from your previous email, but I still like trying to figure out like how actually the whole thing is working.
Actually, Bryce, do you want to here? I'll let you share pictures, Bryce, if you want to.
Okay.
Because I have the ability. I give you sharing privileges.
Yeah, well, it started with Albert first, with
we're gonna get a drink really quickly.
Being at this shared office space, and then he.
That's where I'm at. By the way,
like curate some. Yeah, he's there now, but he wanted to just curate some little shows and things in these like photo booths that are just like maybe like 5x5 and like 7 or 8 feet tall. So he actually did do a couple things in there.
Yeah.
He did a collective thing, and then he did like one of his own works in there. But he went to this restaurant, and he was just kind of talking to the owner. And his name is Raj, and now he's on like our team as part of the gallery. But Albert teamed up with him, and basically the restaurant's like 6,000 square feet of space. So we're just like
it's an Indian.
using,
It's an Indian restaurant.
yeah,
You
Indian
post. Okay.
restaurant.
I mean, if you ever
So
get a chance, definitely
it
come
was
visit.
definitely a surprise for sure. Because
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think Albert was expecting that at all, and just kind of like it just happened, and he was like, "Well, now I have all this space," and then I knew him from a class, and I have a friend who also knew him from the same class, and so he got to talking with my other friend Alexis, who's on the team, and then Alexis referred him to me as well, and so we just kind of gathered up and grouped up, and so he made me and Alexis like curators and stuff to aid him, and then he still does his art practice, and then also does curating and creates art fair applications and different stuff like that. Um, but yeah, so now we have like all these different spaces, from little photo booths that it started out to like our digital website platform and the 6,000 square feet, which is like super awesome. So we kind of have a lot of variability in things that we can do. So that's kind of
Yeah.
how it happened. And then yeah, but our space, I was kind of measuring some things today. So our ceilings are, or floor to ceiling, it's like 13 feet tall. So we have
Wow.
decent sized ceilings.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we have some really, really long walls and stuff like that. But yeah, so we have like a lot of space. I have photos as well if you would like to see photos, but
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine for now. Like, yeah, I'm just like thinking about to get a like a general ideas of how the space or like how the structure is working for the office space. Yeah, cool. Sounds good. Okay. Okay. So another question I have is like, so if I'm planning to do a show, how should this work? Should I just like write down like a thing, like a proposal sort of thing and send to you, or is like how
I
does
mean,
this work?
depends. If you do physical, obviously we'll want your concept, your JPEGs, and then the info about the JPEGs. And then, well, first of all, we got to figure when you want to do it. So I think we should probably wait until after you move.
Yeah.
And then we'll see how things are, because if the move is rough transition, we will want to give you more time, you know? So, because we don't
Thank
like
you.
rushing things. So, and being, doing art is not always like straightforward. So we want to make sure things work out for you.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. This is like just like an introduction talk, more or less. And then we'll get into the planning stages closer as we get closer. I mean, well, obviously, if we do a physical show, depending on what it is, I mean, there's a potential you might actually end up coming out here if it's like really super complicated installation. Typically, that's usually new media. Anything that involves like electronic or like video projection probably is ideal, or complex installations. Well, it'd just be easier to have artists on the site, obviously.
Right.
Because if it's site specific, definitely have you here, But if it's virtual, then that's pretty easy, Like,
okay. Yeah.
Like Stephanie's show, which we're doing next month, is virtual and in person, but she has like, it's all video art. So I just loop the videos on the computer and that's it for the physical. And then the virtual is just like, we just play her Vilmo. Like,
I see.
Works,
yeah, I actually
basically.
did a residency program with Stephanie last year.
Yeah, she's actually going to the Whitney ISP.
Nice.
So
Mhm.
yeah, so that's a huge game changer,
Wow.
which also puts her at like we're trying to apply to an art fair with her work and someone else's. But how do like what residency do you do with her, if I may ask? Or
So yeah, we did this like virtual residency called Collider with Contemporary Calgary, so it's in Canada. Yeah, so it's like I think they did this like the first time last year, and they were planning to do the physical residency, and then it has to change to a virtual one because of COVID, obviously. So yeah, that's how I knew Stephanie. Oh, I didn't know she's actually going to, but I know she's moving to New York. That makes sense. Yeah.
That's for Whitney.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she has to be in New York. There's no virtual for that.
Yeah.
But that's a huge thing, like by far. She's also very research orientated practice too. So
yeah.
But the thing is, I think to be honest, going to New York is probably your best shot. I mean, especially you're pretty established here. I mean, going back to China would, based off my sort of, like I have no experience, but based off my guess, you have to readjust to like whatever the market is. And
I know. It's kind of like
I don't even know what the market is for like new media. Or I mean, I know they do conceptual art, but you have to be like a blue chip status to like really make it.
Yeah.
Because everything's like still very traditional in China.
Exactly.
Unless you're in Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. And it's also like it's no market, and it's like also really hard to do anything with institution because censorship, obviously.
I was just gonna say there's censorship,
it's just
isn't there? So
well, Ai Weiwei is not in China for multiple reasons. So so I think New York's your best shot if you can afford it.
Yeah.
I mean, Pittsburgh is pretty good. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I'm just saying that's another issue, just like the financially. So how I'm gonna afford New York? It's like another biggest concern I have right now.
Humorously, like I'm gonna apply for an MFA, but I'll keep my resident house in Utah because it's cheaper, and then I'll just situate myself into LA or New York. So,
yeah.
But I mean, I'm just not really like I will keep my main place here in Utah because fabrication's much cheaper here.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Cool. I'm actually don't have any more questions. I just thank you so much. Thank you again for reaching out. It was really
definitely. Well, I wanted to. I mean, I guess also like the Hello Kitty art helps quite a bit. If we can ever get like that, I would love to show that one here.
Oh, you mean the 5 apples one? Which one? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how big that is, but I don't think that's big.
It's not big. It's like
this. That's what I meant. We could show that. I would love to put that on the pedestal for sure because I love that piece a lot. So
thank you so much.
But yeah,
I love architecture.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, he was an architect major when he started initially. So
yeah, it wasn't my vibe. So I commend you for doing that because it's hard. What you guys use? I hear you.
Yeah.
For software. What you use for software?
You mean in general in architecture school or like in general?
Like
we use Rhino.
Plans and
we use Rhino. Yeah.
Rhino. That seems like what everybody's using, but I don't know how I feel about it. But I don't know how I feel about Rhino, but that seems to be what everybody's using.
Yeah, everybody's using
Rhino is generally important for all of them.
I think Rhino is like okay for me.
SVA uses that for most modeling.
I think Rhino is actually started with like jewelry designs, like the software is like designed for small objects, and then it becomes like this major thing used in architecture school. So it actually doesn't make any sense because like when the scale gets really large, it's not accurate at all. It's like really
That's why I was like, that's why I was like.
Yeah, but most people don't use Rhino for architecture. They use it for small sculpture design.
Small, 3D modeling
which makes
stuff.
sense, but
I mean, Blender
context.
Blender is probably the best for 3D rendering.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then, I mean, you could use CAD, but that's just expensive
That's
and
good
not really needed.
for like
Hmm.
basic floor plans. I honestly don't mind CAD for like just general blueprint like stuff because
Mm.
it does blueprint things really well, I feel like.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's
CAD
simple,
is
it's
more
not
for
over
drawings and stuff.
complicated. But yeah, if you're trying to do 3D, no, of course not. But yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Do you have more questions for me or like no? Yeah, that's
No,
good. I just
mostly it's just trying to
No.
get to know you. And
nice.
yeah, I would just love to like put all this together, and it would just be, yeah,
Yeah, we can
I
work
mean,
on it slowly,
yeah.
but
Hmm.
And Bryce will probably do some of the
I was
like
gonna
the
say I
work.
can also help you as well. You don't have to like do it a whole entire thing on your own or like try to figure out an entire proposal by yourself. Like
Hmm.
most of the time when we do these things, we get into meetings and we kind of like start bouncing like brainstorming a ton of ideas and different
Hmm.
things, different weird mediums, and then artists start experimenting with things, and then our show just kind of goes from there. So you know, you don't have to like completely do a whole proposal unless you want to. That's fine too. But like,
Hmm.
we're here to help too, so you don't have
Okay.
to completely do everything by yourself.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. This is really nice. Yeah, thank you so much for this meeting as well. It's really nice meeting
Yeah.
you too. Yeah. Okay, I will definitely keep in touch and keep you posted on my how I moved and where I actually end up with.
Yeah.
I will
Oh
definitely
yeah.
keep you
Have
posted.
you
So
actually sold any of your work yet, or not yet?
not yet. I think that's why I'm also like trying to figure out like a storage unit here in Pittsburgh. I just want to store all my stuff. So I still have them there. And yeah, because
Okay.
I think storage is here is cheaper, basically.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah.
way cheaper.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So anyway, my work is gonna stay in Pittsburgh for a while. That's what I know for sure. So
Well, you have a lot of huge installations that you're probably sitting there trying to figure out what to do with them, I suppose, right?
yeah, exactly. But the good thing about my work is like since I work a lot with 3D modeling and stuff like that, so they can be like replicated like easily. I have all my models and stuff like that. They're existing both in physical space and digital space, and they can be do really fairly easily, like just using digital fabrication. So that's I think that's another nice thing about my work. Is like sometimes I feel like it's probably easier to like just recreate them on site instead of just shipping them around. Like they don't have to
Right.
be like that one thing. Like I did all things
Yeah.
by like CNC and 3D printer. So yeah.
Mhm. But like, so the question is, if you use STL files, do you prefer, like, if you want a physical show, to actually have us print it because we have access to 3D printing, or is it
I
better
think
just for you to send it?
for this case, I think Utah is like not that far away. So I guess I
That's
maybe
true.
we can figure it out like time wise and money wise, right? Like it's just like the two
I
things.
mean,
So yeah.
the thing is, yeah, it's probably very easy to just like ship it. And like
Mhm.
some of them, like the 5 apples, as I said, they're not big.
Yeah, they're like really small. I can just like pack them. And because I think another good thing about my work is like they're all like surfaces. So they're just like surfaces combined. They can just like easily take it out as IKEA furniture and be packed in this like really flat box, and I can ship them. And
That's
all
what I
the
meant.
3D.
So
Yeah.
it's almost a non-issue there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So that's great. Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, thanks for the meeting. Cool.
Thank you so
I think
much for initiating
anything else,
everything. Yeah,
Bryce?
thank you so much.
Bryce, do you have anything before we go?
No, I think that's good for now, and we'll just
Okay,
make sure
fabulous.
to
Yeah, keep in touch,
and we'll
honestly.
start
I mean,
rolling when we
yeah,
get a
but
little
keep,
further and after you're
yeah,
settled in. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, keep us abreast of like what's going on, because we definitely want to be supportive of your practice. So if you have any questions, Plus, the funny thing is, if Bryce goes to Pittsburgh for grad school, that makes it even easier if you're still in Pittsburgh. So
Yeah. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay.
thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a nice
Bye-bye.
one.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.